everyone, it's Brittany. I have a brand new holiday video for you today, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to do one of my favorite things ever, and that is how to wrap the perfect Christmas present. I'm also partnering with HP in this video, and I'm using their HP Sprocket, which is the coolest thing ever. This is a pocket-sized smartphone photo printer. It prints 2x3 inch pictures that can also be used as stickers, and I thought it was the perfect size for using as customizable gift tags for presents. So I wanted to show you guys some fun ways to use this to help personalize your Christmas gifts this year. This would also make a really great Christmas gift on its own. I have so many people I know that would love one of these. And this one is the white one with rose gold accents, which is obviously my favorite. If you are interested in this, which I'm sure most of you probably will be because it's awesome, I will leave a link in the description box below for you guys to check out. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe by hitting the subscribe button below this video, and let's go ahead and get started. Just wanted to give you a close-up of what the HP Sprocket actually looks like. It's super cute, and it does use zinc photo paper, which has no ink whatsoever, so it's smudge-proof and super cool. When you buy it, it does come with a pack of 10 zinc photo papers in the actual kit, and all you need to do is download the free Sprocket app, and then you can connect it to your smartphone, and it actually prints through Bluetooth, so it's really cool. You can use it pretty much anywhere. So I'm just loading the printer with some of the zinc photo paper. All you need to do is just follow the instructions, but then you can start designing your pictures that you want to print out. So I'm just playing around with the free filters and the little stickers. They're really cool, and you can also put text on it if you want, and it also has some really fun frames, and it prints really vibrant, fun little pictures, and these are so perfect. I love this. I also printed one out with this really fun frame from the app and a bunch of different ones that I wanted to use on gifts. So now to show you how to actually wrap the perfect Christmas present, I'm just using this blue kind of metallic paper that my boyfriend really liked, and I'm wrapping one of his presents, and this is basically just like the same way that I'll do anything. So I like to make sure I have at least half of the edge of the box covered by paper, so I'm leaving like an allowance at the end, usually a few inches, just to make sure that it's going to cover the entire side and ends of the box. And then I will basically map out where I want to cut the paper. So I make sure that it overlaps by about an inch, and that's where I'm going to be cutting it. If you want, you can use a marker just to make sure you're going to be cutting it to the right size, and then I will go ahead and do the same thing through the bottom of it, but I will again make sure I leave a few inches for allowance just to make sure that the edges of the box will be covered. I like to keep that excess paper that I cut off for any smaller gifts that I will be wrapping later on so that it's not wasted. So then I will go ahead and start wrapping it. I make sure that I have a good enough of an overlap so that nothing is showing underneath the paper, and then I go ahead and tape it down. A lot of people don't like to tape it down first, but I feel like if you want it to look really good, this is a pretty important step because it makes sure it stays very snug. So I like to make sure that the sides are very flat against the box, and I kind of tug on the other piece that overlaps just to make sure everything is extremely tight around the box and it's not going to bunch up or anything. And now to close the ends, I'm going to first press down that little top part to the end of the box, and then on the side tabs that are there, I like to really make sure that I crease them so that everything is very tight and very clean lines. So I'm taping down that top part, and then I'm going to fold over one of the sides, and again this is going to be very tight against the box all the way down to the very bottom of it, and I'm going to make another little crease so that everything is very clean and flat. So I will tape that down too. Some wrapping paper will stay on its own really well, and you might not need to use tape, but some of it kind of flops up a bit like this one does, so I like to make sure it's very secure, so I add a tiny piece of tape, and then that bottom little tab I'm going to fold directly up and tape that in place so everything is very flat against the box, very clean lines, and looks very crisp. And obviously go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Fold it down on the top all the way to the very edges of the box so that you get a very crisp and clean line whenever you fold it over. Every time that there's like a slight fold or a crease, definitely make sure to really go over it. You can use your fingernails to make sure it lays very flat like I do. And then again, I will be closing those two tabs together on the side, taping it down, and then folding up that little tab on the bottom and taping that down. And that's pretty much all you have to do for the ends. And whenever you're putting a bow on a present, obviously make sure that the side that you had taped down originally is on the bottom because it will look so much nicer. And so I usually choose a kind of accent color for the wrapping paper that I use. So there's like silver lines, so I decided to use a silver bow. And then you can go ahead and use your little photo that you printed from the Sprocket, and the backing of the photos actually come off and they can turn into a sticker. So it's so convenient, especially if you want a really unique and customized gift tag for your presents. That way everybody knows exactly who it's for and exactly who it's from, and it looks really cool. I love how they turned out, and they can always keep the photo after they unwrap it too. I also wanted to show you guys another gift that I was wrapping because this one is so much more girly. So I did the exact same thing. I made sure that I had an overlap on the top, and then I'm cutting it out and making sure that there's also enough room on the sides to cover it completely. And then I will be taping down one side, and then the other side will be slightly tugged on just to make sure that it lays very flat against the sides. And if you do happen to have too much of the wrapping paper on the ends, you can always just trim it off. It makes it a lot easier when you don't have any excess because everything lays way flatter. So just make sure it's not going past the bottom of whatever box or whatever present that you're wrapping. Sometimes I like to fold over the very top of the bottom tab just so that it looks cleaner and it's not overlapping onto any other part of the present. For smaller gifts, sometimes I like to flip it onto the side so that I can see exactly where I'm folding everything. It just makes it a little bit easier, but I'm still doing the exact same technique. You can just fold over the two sides and then make sure everything is very sharply creased on the edges, and then just go ahead and close it up with a piece of tape. I think the most important thing is just to make sure you're not using too much wrapping paper, and always trim off any excess if you want it to look really nice. And I also like to use ribbons and string sometimes just to make it a little bit more fun looking. So I usually just wrap it. I start from the bottom, go all the way to the top, and then twist the ribbon or string around itself. And then I'll usually end up with it back at the top. I had a little bit of extra, so I just did it twice. And then I just tie it into a knot and then cut off the excess, and then I will add a bow right on top so you can't see the knot. And if your present is really small but you still want to use a photo that you printed out, you can just clip it on with a mini clothespin. I got these from the dollar store and it still looks just as cute, and obviously whoever you're giving it to can easily keep the photo for themselves too. Just to give you another gift wrapping idea, here is the gift that I wrapped for my dad. I also wanted to show you the photo that I printed out. I used some of the stickers in the Sprocket app, and I decided to give my dad a mustache and then also have the LOL sticker on the side because my dad is very goofy, and I felt like this definitely showcased his personality, so I really love how that one turned out. Of course, you could use these photos on other things like birthday presents or even just different projects that you might want to do, or hang them up in your room. And of course, not everybody likes to wrap presents and they would prefer to use a gift bag, but you can still use these photos by just clipping one onto the handle and it looks just as cute. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something from this video too, and maybe you can improve your wrapping skills this year if you needed to. And thank you so much to HP Canada for sponsoring this video and sending me the HP Sprocket. It's the coolest thing, and I think it would make a really, really great Christmas present or even birthday present. And thank you so much for watching this video and supporting me and my channel. It really means the world to me, and I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!